Hello, I'm Mario, and I want to take a moment to introduce this video, something that I filmed over a year ago when I installed the antennas using these Rago ditch light brackets. And the purpose of the video really is to demonstrate how to run cables from the outside of your truck to the inside. So if you have an antenna for a CB radio or an antenna for GMRS or whatever the case might be, then I would suggest checking out this video to see how I accessed the inside of the cab through the firewall. Now there's a couple other things about the video that I want to mention, and I'll illustrate what time we're talking about here in the video. It's a rather long video. So for instance, I did remove the battery from the Chevy Colorado. Now the second gen Chevy Colorados, I believe it's all the same whether you have a diesel or a gas engine. I know they're different size batteries, but at any rate, it's a little finicky. And so that's one of the things I share is actually, how do you remove the battery in a Chevy Colorado? So yeah, they'll indicate the time right here when that is. And also about the battery, at the end of the video, at the very end, it just happened out that way. At the very end of the video, I demonstrate what the battery tray looks like because there's a couple little tabs in there. So at any rate, I go over the hood latch, the hood cable release. There's a few things in the video. So without further ado, here it goes. Hi, I'm Mario, and today I'm going to be working on my Chevy Colorado again. And the overarching goal here is I need to mount antennas, that's plural, on the outside of my vehicle and somehow get those cables to the inside of the cab. So I'm going to work on two types today. One antenna is for Sirius XM radio, and the other is GMRS, so that's a frequency for two-way radio communications. And so I have those two antennas here, and really I think the main focus of this video is kind of how to get from the outside to the inside of the cab. For instance, I think I might have located one spot where there's the hood release has a cable that goes from under the driver's side of the dashboard through the firewall and then into the engine compartment. And I like that, but the hole is rather small, so I might have to get into a step-size drill bit. I don't know if I'm going to have access there, so we're going to go over those things and to show you guys some of the other issues that I'm contending with. For instance, I have this aftermarket antenna for Sirius XM radio, and it seems like the base for the antenna is way up here, and this is simply just an extension to raise the base of the antenna up. This seems to be like some sort of aluminum product here at the base, but it comes with this heavy-duty typically CB antenna bracket. You would mount this on the outside of the big truck mirror, and there's your base right there. So I don't want this. I have another bracket, but I can't get the cable that they provided, the terminal, the connector. Basically, it's not going to slip through here, so I'm gonna have to cut a channel access here, and I'm going to have to basically cut this nut here off. I think this star washer will slide over the connector, but essentially you can see the dilemma is that this connector is only going to fit through a certain size diameter hole, and it's going to be difficult to find a good spot that I have good access to, that's not up against the engine, that's not up against the transmission. And similarly, I have this Motorola, I think this is the 3 decibel gain antenna. They have another one that's taller, but same issue. The connectors are going to be, this is a low profile connector that goes against the antenna. That's going to need a large diameter hole. Similarly, the standard CB style antenna screw mount thing here, that's rather large. Those are the two antennas that I want to work with today. And the next step is going to be to see about removing the cable. Okay, well, I feel confident that I can use the access where the hood release cable penetrates the firewall for at least one antenna, maybe two antennas. I'll use it for something, whether it's even an electrical wire or whatnot. But what I want to do first is go ahead and remove the cable. So I've already started with it here. Here's the cable here, and it goes down here below the brake fluid reservoir. And so in order to get this cable removed, what I needed to do was access the latch here. And so this latch, it uses two 13mm bolts to attach it here. The reason why I removed the latch was so I could get to the plastic clip that is held back by the metal retainer here. There are two tabs here that need to be depressed, and then it can pull out from the retainer here, the clip retainer. So it just made sense to me to loosen this up so I could get better access. The other thing I did, and I'm not sure it was totally necessary, was there are 6, 1, 2, 3 on this side and 1, 2, 3 on this side, T15 screws that I removed just to get more access into here. And then the latch itself, it has an electrical circuit, electrical sensor there if the latch is open or closed. So it's not fully removed, but just like I said, just to get access to the clip here. Well, the wind's blowing pretty good. Hopefully the audio is not terrible, but I wanted to mention one thing that I managed to do was latch my hood. So there's no cable release connected to the latch, and I was putting a rag over the latch. But it seems that it doesn't take much energy to latch that thing. So fortunately for me, the bolts are removed, so I have to try to get that thing unlatched right now. Yeah, with the two 13mm bolts detached, it was no big deal, but that's just something to keep in mind. When you remove that cable, you want to make sure that you place a rag over this latch to prevent the hook from latching onto it. Okay, so you're probably asking yourself, Mario, why are you going through all that trouble dealing with the latch and all that stuff? I'm asking it to myself, but the reason is that there's a rubber boot on this cable and it doesn't want to slide. So I just think it'd be easier to pull the whole cable out and into the cab versus going after the latch itself that's in the cab. It'd be either the latch in the cab or this here. If I went after the latch in the cab, then I'd still have to contend with the boot. So this is the footwell on the driver's side. So here is the hood latch release here, and then let's see if you can see, there's the cable, and then here's the boot that I was referring to, and I can't get it to slide, and I don't think I can. Pulling that through the hole is not going to necessarily work. I don't think that's a good idea. And like I said, it wouldn't slide. You can see there's a little mark where this is supposed to locate. And then the hole, well, that doesn't look like much, but there's just a hole. I'm going to go around the other side and show you guys the hole. There are a couple latches that retain the cable here and here. And I'm going up towards the firewall. There's another one right there. And then it goes straight back. Okay, yeah, there it is there. So that's the hole. And I should be able to get a drill back there if I have to. You know, maybe have to remove the battery. I don't know. It seems like a lot, but I'm just gonna have to do what I gotta do. So I'm neck deep in it now. Okay. All right, so I went ahead and I pulled the cable back and into the cab of the truck. So here it is here. I still have it attached to the dashboard. And yeah, you have to take needle nose pliers to these little tabs here. Those little tabs there. And pull the cable out from the latch. So this connector for my GMRS antenna is just a little bit bigger than the hole. So I'm still happy that I pulled the cable out. And so apparently what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to use a step drill bit and make that hole a little bit bigger. So for the Sirius XM antenna, aside from this metal stuff here that I got to contend with, the connector itself, that will easily fit through the hole. It might even fit through the hole with the existing cable for the hood latch release in place, but the rubber grommet is still an issue to contend with, so removal of the cable may still be necessary. Well, so what I need to do is I got to get this battery out of here so I have access to the firewall, so I can, well, I just got to enlarge the hole where that cable's going through in the firewall. So first things first, got to get this battery out. All right, so I'm going to go after the positive here, and I need to get this entire distribution panel off. So I'm going to start here at the battery's positive post. That's pretty tight. Let's see, what am I dealing with here? 10 millimeter. So let me try my 1/4 inch ratchet here, see if it works. There it goes. Yeah, it didn't take too much maneuvering. Not sure how this plastic piece comes off. This distribution module is attached here somehow. As best I can tell, the battery brace is what's holding this plastic module down, so I'm gonna use a 13 millimeter open end since I don't have a deep socket. Just gonna go with the open end here, and I think the other side of this bracket simply inserts into a tab, or has a tab that inserts into the body of the truck. Okay, that was super easy. I just have a small slotted screwdriver, and I'm just going to insert it through the top of this honeycomb here, and there it goes. And yeah, it does not go under the battery bracket, the battery brace at all. So that just pops out that way. Okay, so that is free. So as long as it doesn't start rubbing up against the positive, I'll be in good shape there. Next is the negative, and I believe I'm also looking at a 10 millimeter here. So that's right here. Let me show you guys. So where I'm at, I'm right there, and that's not, that one doesn't require so much torque. So I've backed that out, and now it's loose, and it came right off. Okay, so I may want to go after this little, there's another little ground here that kind of sprouts off of there. So that might get in the way, but the objective right now is just to get the battery out of the way, and then I can see if my drill fits. There's the bracket. It's just got that little lip that goes into the body. This post right here, it needs to come out because it's bracing the bottom of the battery to the battery box, battery tray. And I think that's a 13. So again, if you had a deep socket, that would work, but there wasn't much to do there. Okay, now I can feel the batteries loose. And there you can see the cleat. There's the cleat that was holding down the battery. I like it. Okay. So what I did was I pried the part of the battery facing forward up, and then then I could move it towards the center of the vehicle and forward at the same time. Now it's free. All right, let's see if we can get this thing disconnected here. Wish me luck. Yeah, didn't want to go. Just don't forget to hook that back up. With that, this can really get out of the way now, so that's a lot nicer. A lot nicer. All right. Yeah, definitely should have did that first. Got the ground out of the way. Yeah, that'll lift right out now. So the ground I can just move down and out of the way. And then there's the hole way back there. So I think I can get a drill back there. Not quite. Not gonna happen. Yeah, I thought it was gonna be relatively easy, but not really. Don't really have a lot of room. What's going on is so right here I have this wire in the way, and there's this one here, and that's not a big deal because I can disconnect it, but I still have this, and it goes up right up in there. So it's an electrical that feeds into, I don't know, for the windshield washer, wiper motor, I don't know. Anyway, it's kind of blocking my access. Went ahead and pulled off this little gray connector here. It just basically slips on top of that little Christmas tree plug here. So I just yanked off the plug, and then I'll just zip tie it, and that'll give me enough room, I guess. I'll make some more space. I'll make some more space by zip tying this over here to the air conditioner system or something. I've got a zip tie there and another one there to try to make room here in that area there, but it's just not enough to really fit my cordless drill in there. If I had the extension, then the battery tray is going to start. The battery tray is going to be in the way with any extension. You can see the back of the drill there, and it's up against the top there. So, yeah. Not sure what I'm going to do yet. So I was able to use the step bit from inside the cab, and here I have my drill. You can see it just, yeah, so I can get my drill up in there, but I managed to get the drill stuck. The largest step bit that I could find was a 7/8. I managed to plunge it all the way through the firewall, and yeah, that's what I'm working with there. So I just put a rag there to catch the bit. So maybe I can get some channel locks in there and grab the chuck and loosen up the bit. Yeah, so that worked like a charm. So I got my drill bit back, but now the real test is to see if everything fits through there. I think it will. So this truck used to always also come with a manual transmission, so it had a clutch. And let me see if I can show where I'm talking about. So just to the left of the hole that I'm accessing, there's a little diamond in the black felt cover there. It's right up against my t-shirt there that I have there. The t-shirt was to catch the step bit. But at any rate, I believe that's the cutout for the clutch pedal, for the hydraulic clutch pedal. I think it mounts there. Yeah, so I got the drill out of the way, and then I made the hole a little bit bigger, and I think that's going to work for me. But for future expansion, you can see there's a little rubber cutout there. Let me see if I can hold all this and make everything work. So this is what I'm talking about here. So you can, these are pre-made little cutouts, so that could be an option right there for future expansion. So here I have my GMRS radio in, so I need to feed this from the inside going out. This will connect to the antenna. I also have to feed back through the firewall my cable for the hood release, my string here that will serve as a fish line. So I just have there's a little guy line that comes with tints or whatever. So my antenna for the radio, for the two-way radio, I just have it going back here through my center console area here, and then I can route it up through the footwell here. And so I have a little bit of slack on the inside in my center console, so I can service the radio and whatnot. I'm just going to find some area along here to run the cable back and forth. What I'm trying to avoid with the slack on the cable is to coil it really tight in a round circular motion. So I'll try to do some runs back and forth. We'll see where that heads. Okay, so I have the leads for my antenna cable, and I have the pull string and the cable release for the hood, and it's all fed through the rubber grommet here, and then I just have the leads here in my hand, and now it's just a matter of feeding it through the hole. I got everything's right there, and it's just a matter of me grabbing it and pulling it through. I'm going to go ahead and attach the cable release to the hood latch now. The ball of the cable is seated in there, and then I just got to push in, and I just have to push in the cable housing. That snaps in place there, and so let's see if I can get it focused. So that should be functional right now. That'll get dressed in here, and over here, and then there's one more back here. Okay. Yeah, and now it's just a matter of getting the 13mm bolts and then the T15s. So these bolts here, they'll secure the latch. And then, yeah, one thing worth noting is that the latch can definitely move around. So one thing I didn't take into account when I took this off was adjusting the latch properly. So I'm going to go ahead and try to make some adjustments for that now. Make sure my cable isn't bound up anywhere. That looks pretty good. And I can just kind of, yeah, feel the, I can feel the tension there. So I'm just going to go for maybe 2mm to the passenger side. All right, so now what happens is that I can hear that clunk, and what I believe is that now the first latch, so now it seems like this primary safety latch is hooking right onto the little metal bar right here. Okay, so I went ahead and I tested closing it a few times, and it seems like I need a little more downward force than when I originally picked it up from the dealership. So I think I might have mounted the latch a little bit lower, but I'm going to go ahead and torque it down. I think it's good. All right, so now I'll finish up with these T15s. Got 6 of them here. So I'm here in the footwell for the driver's side, and I think I'm going to have some slack in a couple of spots. One good area might be here underneath the dash. There's a screw here, and then another one right here that I can fasten some zip ties. So I have the cable for my antenna here, and I've set up some zip ties in a way that I have 2 zip ties. One is to secure the cable, and then this other larger one, I'm going to secure this zip tie to the back end of these screws here. So along the edge, so right here along the edge, underneath, there's a little screw sticking out. So I'm going to try to attach, I have 3 of these things set up here. And so I'm just going to attach that along the edge there. Okay, holy cow, this is a lot of fun. So I had to use a lighter, thinner zip tie, but basically I got the, basically 2 zip ties. One goes around the cable, the other goes around the little nut. And now I got stuff dressed in, so the cable here, it's gonna go about yay. There's a little soft rubber seal right in here, so I'll get the antenna mounted and then secure this so it doesn't wiggle around and get pinched. So we got this little base here, and it's got these little teeth on it. I'm guessing that is to help with the ground plane. The other part is this little adapter here, and I don't even remember which way it goes. think it goes this way. And I think I'm going to flip that around. Okay. So I'm going to do it this way. So the fat part of the spacer goes towards the bottom. Now with this, you got to kind of depress it to get it started, and it should just screw right in. And then I want the so now that I have it snug a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and twist it back and forth to try to get some of that paint away from the bracket. Yeah, we'll have to see how the ground plane actually worked out. So I'm thinking maybe a black zip tie here, and then we'll dress it in. So here's my cable. Basically it disappears until it comes out the other side here. Excuse me for the wind, but so I got it underneath the channel, comes up here. It's got a kind of natural arch to it so that when I close the hood, it kind of stays clear. And then I went ahead and opted for the brand name tie wrap zip ties here. So around the brackets, I got a couple more, kind of ugly. Yeah, but it's mine, hey. So the last thing that I need to do is get the darn battery connected, and I just wanted to show you guys one thing about the battery tray. So I'm not going to bore you with all the details, but there are a couple of things going on here. One, so in the battery, so there's a couple little details I wanted to show you. So the grill, the front of the truck is going this way, and there are these little plastic tabs here set up to receive two different group size batteries. And then there's another little tab back there. So the battery needs to go inside here. The back of the battery needs to go here, and then the front kind of needs to click into space here. So it's important to know that only that when you're trying to get the battery out, you might, I was fighting that a little bit. So you just got to pick the front corner up and then get it kind of going that way. So up and out. So I definitely did more than anticipated. There was a lot going on there, but hey, you know, live and learn. All right, well, thanks for watching, guys, and tune in for the next time, see what kind of mistakes I can make. See you guys.